All right, what's good, y'all? So I want to do a quick story time about my dating experience and also the shortest relationship I've ever been in Atlanta. The story starts out, I met this young lady on a dating app. We hit it off. She was attractive, and the conversation was good. We talked about a lot of different things. I felt that we had a few things in common, um, and I was like excited, to meet her. So yeah, so we met up, and it was our first meetup. I wouldn't even really call it a date, but I was just like, wow, I just loved her energy. She's very ambitious, like I said, pretty and all that stuff. But yeah, weeks go by. We're getting to know each other. I'm taking her out to different places, different environments, things like that. I got her some flowers, and everything's seeming to go good.
Couple of red flags. Number one, you're starting off on a dating app. And as far as I'm concerned, dating app, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. The majority of the people on there it's just a bunch of degeneracy that's happening on dating apps, depending on which ones you're on, right? But the other thing is getting excited for somebody that you find attractive. I think you gotta be able to curb that sort of excitement. You don't want to do too much. And it sounds like you're probably doing a little, in my opinion, it sounds like you're doing a lot, especially with the flowers and all of that. I mean, all of that stuff is unnecessary, especially in the very beginning. We don't live in 1950 anymore. And you sound like you're a really nice guy. I mean, you look like a nice guy, but all of that extra shit is not going to get you anywhere, brother.
Now, when I probably reached like the seventh date mark, I was kind of like scratching my head a little bit too, because she mentioned a couple things, right? She mentioned one thing about like grand gestures and stuff
7 dates.
like that. No, most people that know me, like I'm a very simple guy. Like I like romance and stuff like that, but um, she just kept making emphasis on like grand gestures and stuff like that. So she's a grand person, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm still learning her, right? So uh, didn't really think nothing of it at the time. And then she also mentioned, because we're getting to know each other. She's like, yeah, I don't really, because I think we talked about like just we got on the subject of cooking and cleaning, and she was like, yeah, I would outsource, like cooking and cleaning. So she says that, and I'm not really tripping too hard on it because I'm not one of those guys that's like expect.
What do you mean you're not tripping too hard? I would have ran when she's what could she possibly, what type of value do you think she can possibly bring to you if she's telling you I outsource my cooking and cleaning? That's not really what I'd like to do. She's already setting you up right there. Like she's setting you up for failure.
Women, oh yeah, you got to cook and clean and just do like this all this domestic stuff at the house because I'm very much a domestic type of person. Like I cook, clean, and do stuff as well. And um,
See, you could tell he's a good dude. Like he was raised well. You know what I mean? Like maybe in the 1950s this would have worked, brother, but not today. Not in 2025, man.
I think we continue talking about that, and she mentions like, oh, like I hate the patriarchal system. Like I'm like, okay, cool. Again,
I don't understand why he keeps saying cool to all the red flags. Like, do you know what type of arguments you're going to have when she,
it's kind of like at this point I'm starting to like put two and two together. I feel like I'm like, dang, she's very hands off in this whole dating process because by now like we're like almost 2 months in. I've taken her on several dates. She hasn't like even offered like or even brought me like a beer or.
yeah, that's code for she hasn't given you any box. That's where she's hands off. She's hands off. She's hands off of you. You don't see that after. Come on, man. It doesn't take 7 dates for you to understand that a woman is just
And just something like small to just show like appreciation. Nothing, none of that has occurred, you know. And that's kind of the stuff I kind of look out for too. Like when I'm, dating somebody, just something small, just to show like, hey, here's a beer. I know you. This is your, one of your favorite beers or something like that, or some French fries or something. But nothing to that point. And I was like, all right, cool. So I asked her, like, are you a little bit more different in a relationship? Like, do you show up differently in a relationship? And she's kind of like, yeah, I don't want to do girlfriend things for someone I'm not in a relationship with. And mind you, I'm doing like a lot, like, to, uh, kind of prove myself to her.
that's the problem.
So anyway, I was like, all right. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I really like this girl, and I've been doing so many different things, and my thought process is like, all right, I can at least give her the title and see if maybe there's a change or anything like that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not going to change. Give her what title? What? You going to try to make her your girlfriend? Look, I'm going to be honest with a lot of you guys, a lot of you young guys. And whether you like it or not, I don't think you guys should be dating. You guys should not be dating until you learn how to vet women. Until you learn how, until you're established financially. You shouldn't be dating until you understand who you are as an individual. You don't even know who you are, bro. Not until you have that confidence that comes from purpose and not from chasing validation. You should not be dating. Like, this dude didn't get played, because he gets played obviously at the end, and I'll let you guys continue to watch the video as soon as I'm done. But he didn't get played because she was deceptive. She was giving him all the red flags from the very beginning. From the very beginning, letting him know she was grooming him. He got played because he didn't know how to vet. He confused her beauty with value. It was probably the first, I don't know, maybe the first hot chick he ever dated, and he was just happy to be sitting next to her. Happy to be sitting next to a pretty woman. Not even paying attention to who she really was and what she was saying, because every red flag that she was saying, he just kept saying, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll accept that. And that's what happens when you're young and inexperienced. You think attention comes from women. You think that means she likes you, and it doesn't. She doesn't like you, bro. She didn't like you from the first date. From the first date, she didn't like you. She just said, let me see how far I could take it, and let me see what I can get out of him. How many dinners I can get out of him, or, what could I get him to buy me? That's what it was.
So I went ahead and asked her to be my girlfriend. So yeah, so check this out. So I knew that she liked things, like grand gestures. So I had this idea. I was like, you know what? Now, mind you, I've never done this before. I've never done this, but I was like, let me do a girlfriend proposal, right? So I was like, let me do a girlfriend proposal. And again, I'm like, all right. So I had made reservations to this dinner, and I had ordered this shirt that said, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Right, or just to make it cute, make it fun. I had bought the shirt. I had got this.
What is
I
happening
had went on
here?
Printify to like get this little necklace made with like a picture that she really likes about herself.
Who's
What
teaching
else
this
did I
young
do?
man how to
I
date
had
women?
ordered a bouquet of flowers, all that, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I think she's gonna love this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the day comes. The date went really well. The food was amazing, and I'm just like kind of like excited because I know that I'm about to ask her, in this kind of cute way that I've never done before. That I felt like I put some effort into a little bit. So we made it home. and I tell her to like, close her eyes, right? Because I got the shirt under my jacket, and I tell her to close her eyes. And I tell her to open it. I got the shirt. I gave her a marker to check the box or whatever. And I gave her some flour. I gave her the flowers.
Bro, come on, man. We were doing that back in the fifth grade. We were doing that in the fifth grade. What are we doing?
And then I gave her the necklace, and I had some wine. And she checked. She said yes, all that. So I'm like, all right, cool. That was, I feel like that was pretty cool, right? But no. The very next day, I'm working, and she's like, hey, I just wanted to say, I appreciate, you're so kind, you're so sweet, but I didn't really like those flowers. Like I think she told me she liked roses or something like that, right? Now, mind you, the flowers I got, they weren't necessarily roses. Like they were like an assortment of flowers. And at the time, I had ran into Whole Foods to kind of get something that looked nice. Because I didn't want to not give her flowers, and I was like, at the very least, I still wanted to give her flowers, even though they weren't roses.
Look, he tried. And it didn't work out for him. You guys can. I'll link him down in the description so you can watch the rest of the video. But it just, everything he did is exactly what you shouldn't do. Why? Because men of purpose don't perform for anybody. They don't buy their way into a woman's interest. And they don't have to do grand gestures because they're trying to be the good guy. We all know what happens to the good guy. A good man is not defined by how much he spends. I don't understand when you guys are going to start waking up to that. Like, a good man is defined by his standards, man. It's that simple. A man who knows his value can walk into a high-end restaurant in jeans and a clean t-shirt, looking sharp, speaks with confidence. That alone, make sure he's in good shape, he smells good, all of that good stuff, right? That alone will tell a woman everything she needs to know about you. Without you having to beg, without you having to buy stupid shit, you don't have to prove anything to her. A woman that likes you will sit in the car with you and talk to you for hours without you buying her a cup of coffee because she likes you. And she'll do that day in and day out if she likes you. I'm going to leave it there. What say you? You agree? Am I too harsh? Leave it in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one.